What is going on? Welcome back to Shed Built. In this episode, we're going to see if the 12HT will actually run. We'll also do some other stuff, but you're not here for that. Alright, so first thing I'm going to tackle is the wiring. I'm going to grab my harness and lay it across the dash into all of its clips and its holders. Then I'm going to feed it through the firewall and plug in all the connectors. Alright, a quick update to where I'm at. The camera battery died, so I just kept on going. But I've got all the heater core and aircon units installed, got all the wiring routed. I spent hours figuring out the routing of where this goes throughout the dash, but I finally sort of got it figured out. I've got most things plugged in, got the steering column reinstalled. As you can see there, got the brake bracket just barely in there. I'm about to install the booster, which I'll show you in a sec. The clutch installed, that's all good. Just worked out the push rod length. I installed a fair bit more sound deadening up through that corner there and also on the other side. Got a new speedo cable. But yeah, I'm working on getting the brake master cylinder installed. I'll show you that. Alright, so here is the stock HJ75 booster and master. Originally I was going with the J-Max brake boost upgrade, a dual diaphragm, but after speaking to a couple of blokes who've done a similar conversion, they recommended an 80 series dual diaphragm. So I'm going to run this for the meantime. It's obviously a hell of a lot cheaper and heaps easier to find. This one's a brand new unit, not too expensive, about quarter of the price of a J-Max unit. So what to look for if you're doing this on a HJ75, you want to get the 4-bolt front and rear, and also you're going to need a coupling, because as you can see here, the push rods, the 80 series are a hell of a lot smaller, so you need a coupling. I've got an M10 coupling. The booster thread pitch is a M10 by 1.25, but all I could find was an M10 by 1. So I'm going to send that on there with an impact and go for a cross thread is a strong thread. So I'll send that on there, cut off the head of that M10 bolt as well, and I'll use that as my push rod. Yeah, a bit of Loctite should be alright. And there we have it. So we've got the push rod, lock nut, coupling, and then the push rod, whatever that is, another coupling, goes to the pedal. So I had to mount a bolt in the vise, screw the brake coupling, whatever that thing was we were calling it, in the vise, screw that on, cut the head of the bolt off, and then screwed it into the coupling. I actually have a feeling that it's going to be too long now, but if that's the case, I have to cut down the coupling, because yeah, that is Loctited it on there, cross-threaded, the works. I don't think that's coming off. So yeah, we'll cut the coupling if it's too long, but I'm gonna go test fit it now. All right, that boost is installed. I did have to cut down that little coupling there, but yeah, after a bit of back and forth, got it in. I got that spring installed as well. Now I'm just itching to get the 12HT started, so I'm gonna chuck some fluids in it now and try kick it in the gats. Alright, so as you can tell, I'm about to try start it up because I'm impatient. So I've filled it up with all the fluids, filters. I've just primed it, as you would have seen, through the oil pressure valve. Yeah, it's topped up, all the wiring's in, just clamped the ground on for the moment. No water will be running through it, so I've got all the oil lines figured out. Power, everything's working. I'll show you that now. Switch turns on. Also just rigged up a oil pressure gauge, just ran the wiring to that. Yeah, now I'm going to try crank it over, build up oil pressure, no fuel, just make sure I have pressure, and then put some fuel in it, kick it in the guts. Right, I'm going to try crank it over now, see what sort of pressure we're getting. To turn the key, I'm nervous to say the least, but give it a go, see what happens. Turn the power on, I reckon. Nothing. Just clicking. May need a couple more grounds, or either the battery's just dead. Righto, so I just removed the starter motor, replaced the plunger and some of the brushes. Once I cleaned it, it must have had some water get in there and it all rusted out and the plunger was stuck. So let's try this again. Didn't get any oil pressure then. I'll try again. I just took off the rocker cover. I'm going to check if there's any oil getting to the head. Right, so when I crank it, you crack it?
Yeah, and then I'll close it before you turn it off.
Righto, you're probably wondering what is going on around here. Now in the turbo install video when we had to clock the compressor housing, basically what happened here is when we started up the engine for the first time, the torque from the motor must have kicked out the little circlip when we had to rotate it. So it just popped out of its little circlet there. I mustn't have seated properly in its little groove. So it just popped out a bit. Something popped out of my pants at the same time. Yeah, it was a bit scary, but we got it all sorted. We ripped the turbo off after this, seated it properly, chucked it back on there, and then fired it up. Which is all good. Alright, and that is it for another episode. I'm so stoked that it actually runs. It was a bit short-lived there when we had that turbo drama, but it's been no dramas ever since. We've got it sorted. I just want to give a massive shout out to Jake. He's the guy that you've been seeing lurking around in all the videos, coming in, getting his hands dirty almost every day. He's been a massive, massive help. So with that said, stick around for next episode when we get stuck into the dash and also starting to piece this thing back together. So like, subscribe, you know the deal, and I will see you next time. Cheers for watching.